Yeah, I'm spending all my cash on my and my friends.
Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Who Got the Juice. Today we've got a very special guest. This episode is very special to me because this person lectured me. And this person inspired the love and the fire for editing. Today we have a filmmaker, a producer, a director, an editor, founder of Art's Sake, for Art's Sake. We have Vuyani Bila. Hello, Vuyani. How are you?
What's up, guys? So I'm good, man. Can't complain. Complain.
I can give a little bit of an introduction of who you are, but somebody sitting at home watching this, could you just tell them who you are?
Okay, so Vuyani is I'm gonna look at this guy, right?
That's your camera.
Okay, cool. So I'm a director, writer, and producer. You know me as an editor, but the industry doesn't know me quite as an editor. But I also edit, and I majored in editing as well in film school. But more than anything, I'm a film scholar. I love films. I love studying films. I love talking about films. I love everything film orientated. That's me in a nutshell. But yeah, writer, director, and film scholar.
Okay, film scholar. Yeah, love that. How did you get into filmmaking and why filmmaking?
Ooh. How did I get into filmmaking? Okay, so and I've been saying this because we've been busy with PR runs, but for those who aren't tired of hearing the story, so how I got into filmmaking was my love for movies started from a very early age. It was my dad who was a migrant worker. He worked in Limpopo, PLK. And every Friday he'd come back with a cassette. He'd always come back with something interesting and all of these things. Now his taste in movies was like, he has a good taste in culture, actually, just in culture in general. Music, movies, he has a great taste. So he got me movies like Jurassic Park. I remember the first time I saw Jurassic Park, it like blew my mind. Like just seeing that world, like I always found movies and TV and all of that as like a window to escape my reality. Well, not to escape really, but like as a window to somewhere else, you know? So I remember movies like Jurassic Park, movies like Harry Potter, movies like the one where I remember just chilling and being like, yes, this is a movie I'm watching, was Casino 1995 with Martin Scorsese. And I'm watching that as a kid and it was like freaking amazing. I was like, how long is this movie? It was like I think Casino's like 3 and 20 minutes long, 3.5 hours or something like that. And I remember just watching being like, this is crazy, you know? So then that's where my love for movies stems from. But I never thought it was a reality as a black kid that I could study movies. It wasn't in my wildest dreams to say I'm going to be a filmmaker. I always thought I was going to be like, in high school, late high school, I thought I was going to be a musician, a rapper. Let me rather say that because musicians use instruments and such. But late high school matric, that's when it kind of became like, oh, you can actually study this, you know? I was a creative writer and everything, and people were like, you're going to have to go to varsity. What are you going to study? And fortunately, Open Day after came through, and they sparked that seed that filmmaking could be a possibility. So just seeing after at my school, at my high school, was crazy for me. It was like, oh, snap, this is... I remember asking them, so this is movies? Like you can study movies? And they were like, yeah. I was like, wait, like, so to make movies, they're like, yeah, you can do that. And it was crazy for me. So fortunately I had a good teacher at the time, and she was like, if you're really interested, I could take you on a Saturday. They have an open day. And she drove me and my homies, Spill, shout out to Spill, who I later started my company with. We went to AFTA. and it was a great presentation they gave out. And then turns out my high school, the dean who was at AFDA at that time came from my high school as well. So there were good tides there, and they accepted us on the spot when we sent in our application. But then, the fees.
I was gonna ask about the fees.
It was real chat. So the fees, it was we couldn't do it at my house. So my parents just told me gently, like, nah, it's not a possibility. So that dream seemed to die out. So I went to go study at TUT. I studied marketing. How that happened, it was, I wanted to take a gap year because I couldn't study film. But my parents were like, "Aye, chief,
Study something."
yeah, no kid of ours can really chill at home.
Yeah.
So they pulled me out after my results and everything. There used to be this thing called walk-in at TUT. I don't think it happens anymore, but
It doesn't.
yeah, you could walk in and like register and say, "Hey, I want to study 1, 2, 3." Before they used to give you like 4 days or something of walk-ins and stuff. And in line, I was just listening to retail business management, logistics, what, this is what's open, And then I just heard marketing. And I was like, marketing? That's close to advertising. Advertising is close to filmmaking. This is the closest thing I can get to filmmaking. So I'm going to study marketing.
Wow.
And I studied marketing. Greatest social life of my year. That year, worst academic life ever for a kid who wasn't failing, who'd been breaking academic records.
Oh, wow.
It for me, it really sucked academically because I was failing. I was failing. I was doing accounting. I didn't even do accounting at school. Body statistics, and it was just whack stuff. Marketing was fun, but you needed a bit more. I was passing communications, which was basically English.
Yeah.
Then I did a year of that, but then my then girlfriend told me, "Look, you're miserable. I can see you still want to study film. How about you reapply?" And everywhere at that time now, I was walking around with a camera. I was shooting my own documentary with my friends and stuff.
Do you have some of those?
Yeah, it's online somewhere deep down. If you try find it,
deep web.
I shot a 40-minute documentary called Theorist Lounge, and it was just me as an amateur, just loving to do movies. And the documentary was like, what's the meaning about life or whatever. And when I went to go reapply at TUT, I remember it was the most horrible interview process. My first interview process, which I thought was super dope when I was still in high school, didn't take me. And I was telling them about all these great movies, and I thought, I'm in.
Yeah.
And they just said no. So this one, I remember just going in there, just dreading it, just dreading the hell out of being there. And my then girlfriend just dragged me, and she was like, "I'm gonna sit here, and we're gonna do this registration."
Shout out to her.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her at the time, And then I was the last to be picked to be interviewed that day, so we chilled there for like 2.5 hours while I was watching those films. I don't know if you did. They showed you those screening films.
We didn't see any films. We just chilled outside and waited in the queue.
Damn. At Primos, there used to be a campus, Primos. When you'd come in for like interviews, they'd put you inside the classrooms, which were like basically cinemas, and they'd play movies and show you what your future could be. So I'm just chilling there. I'm just looking at like BTS of student filmmakers, and they just talking about the process of making this film. It was magical. She hated it because she was outside, but for me it was like I'm chilling there. And
I could be.
Yeah, it could be me here. So that was really great. Really, really great. But then as I went in, the worst interview of my life. I'll never forget. It was Frank, Dr. Heman, and Professor Ellen Taylor, who was from like England. But then he said something during that interview, because I was nervous. And I was just like, this is what I did. I shot a documentary, And in the worst interview, he gave me some light. He said, "You studying at TUT?" I was like, "Yeah." "You studying marketing?" I'm like, "Yeah." he's like, keep that book. It might come in handy next year. And I was like, okay, that's weird. All right, cool, sharp. I left. They got back to me in Jan. I remember Penny calling me and being like, yo, Vuyani. I was like, what's up? She's like, you're on the waiting list. I'm like, huh? She's like, on the film program, you're on the waiting list. I'm like, oh, okay. And I think this is on my birthday because I'm with my friends. I'm with Pio again and Tulu. And then she hangs up. She calls an hour later. She's like, yo, you've been accepted. I'm like, that was insane. It was like the dopest birthday present ever.
Wow.
Ever. So I even thanked Penny like many years later. He came back. I was like, oh, you changed my life. Yeah.
I remember her call as well. Like,
oh, you remember?
I remember her call as well because
dope.
When I came for my interview, I told my sister, okay, look, I must school here. I'm going to school here. I'm speaking this into it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it happened. Like, I was so happy.
Like, she was like, yo.
Yeah, when they called, I was at home.
Yeah.
Normal day, chilling, watching Baby Driver. Because I was.
You were watching Baby Driver.
I was watching Baby Driver.
Dope,
just came out 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And then I was so on that Edgar ride. I remember one of the assignments you gave us was I did something like that. But I was watching Baby Driver over and over and over again. They called and I was so happy. It
was crazy, crazy feeling. So for me, that year, my first year in film school, I made sure I just killed everything. I came back from like a year of like failing. I was just murdering every single thing I would do. I was not fulfilled. And I remember even doing an assignment. My marketing friends, or one of them laughed at me. He was like, they just gave you a brief now. It was in Jan. And the assignment was during June and I was doing it in January. And I was like almost done with it. Oof. And he was laughing, an old friend. He's like, how are you doing it so early? Like it's due in June. But did it. And that year we won Best Documentary, you know. So that was the beginning. It just went up from there.
All right, awesome. Okay, so like you went through hurdles and you realized that in life you have to do something that fulfills you.
Yeah, definitely.
So what advice would you have for somebody that's like maybe sitting at home or studying something that does not fulfill them or doing a job that doesn't fulfill them? What advice would you have for them?
It's tricky, you know, that question, because I've always been relentless, you know, in pursuing my dream. But everybody's situation is different. You get what I'm saying? So the other day, again, my friend Phil called me up because everybody's been like calling me or when I bump into them, they're like, yo, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. You've been pushing for so long. And I haven't been noticing, you know? So Phil's like, yo, bro, you've been at this for 10 years now. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, you've been pushing for 10 years. And then he said, don't underestimate the backing of your parents. You get what I'm saying? So my parents giving me that leisure to say, look, man, push, we got you. You know, that gave me that confidence, or that, you know, to say, okay, I don't need this right now. Let me pursue my dream. I don't need this. So I'm saying what I'm about to say is follow your dreams, but each and every person's circumstance is different. You know, True. Some people don't have that luxury. Some people, it's a matter of, like with my friend, he wanted to get married. Our company at that time, Artsake, wasn't able to fulfill his financial needs. You know, I could stomach it at the time. He couldn't. So that's why he had to leave, you know, no bad blood or anything or whatever. That's why he can call me and we can chat and we chill all the time. But I had that backing where I started my company at the back of my parents' office. You get what I'm saying? Now we in this established office. But without that 8 years in my parents' office, this doesn't happen.
True.
You know, where they're like, don't worry about rent. We got it. Don't worry about whatever, you know. True. So follow your dreams. By all means, I'm a professional dream chaser. You know, I don't stop until dreams are
With
met.
it, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm forever pursuing it. But I'm cognizant to say each and every situation is not the same. But find a way, you gotta find a way. You were watching Edgar, right? And just chilling, so you found a way and you said, and like dreams want that. They want action, bro. Like it's one thing to just yap your guns, but if you're not an action person, there's a lot of people who are filmmakers at home who are just saying I'm a filmmaker, but it's just with the mouth. It needs action. You need to show, and once you can show, that's when the world attracts. That's what I've picked up, is that this itty bitty door opens this bigger door. This, for me to direct my first TV film, I had to do a short film. Without me doing that short film, I don't get that TV gig. You get what I'm saying? And without that TV gig, I don't get my next gig. I don't get, and then that doesn't lead to my first feature film, directing. So action is needed, and you need to show that you're a person of action. Yeah.
That is very powerful. Yeah, 10.
Sorry, I'm just gonna speak into this camera.
Okay.
Away.
You'll remember it's this camera right here.
All right.
So what do you say then about the baby steps that must be taken? Because when you look at your big dream, people often use the metaphor of a mountain. They talk about you need to a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Yeah.
How does one get into the mindset of taking baby steps to get to where they go to? And especially in film, what are the baby steps?
Okay. Good question. Good question, but also to note, that saying, I like it when it's phrased like this. To how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. So how you eat an elephant is what it's basically saying is that don't look up. Because had somebody told me it's gonna take 10 years for you to get a feature film inside cinema, that's 10 years from my graduation, not even 10 years from
Starting.
You get what I'm saying? If somebody had told me that, I would have been like, leave it.
Yeah.
Ironically, if you're giving me that I remember first day of film school, I'm there, and then they're talking, they're like, yeah, so this year you're going to do a 7-minute documentary. And then I'm raising up my hand and like, so when are we going to do a movie? and then I was like, when are we going to do a 2-hour long, a movie? They were like, yo, hold your horses. They were like, chill. If you can do a short one, then surely you can do a big one. But then they were like, chill, boy. And I was so naive at that time. I was like, let's do movies. Let's just, and I didn't know the dynamics of it. But that innocence you must always keep. But in that time, I learned, and they used to say, man, a feature film takes a long time to make. You get what I'm saying? It takes a long time to make. And sometimes it takes 7 years, all these things. And it sounded so absurd to me. I was like, yeah, you can do it.
Just a film. You can.
The secret project that I just told you guys about, that one that we just shot, that we just didn't, we currently in post-production for, took us 8 years to make.
Wait. 8 years from all the phases of production, or
no, developing, raising funds. You get what I'm saying? So we've been developing this since, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a film after our first short film as Art's Sake we did to Ike, and then it was the first film we developed right after. It was, in 2016. So 2016, if my math is correct, it's 8 years, right? 2016, you can count. It's 8 years.
Yes.
So, it took us 8 years to get it into full-fledged existence. And we shot it just 2 or 3 months ago. No, 2 months ago. So it takes time. It takes freaking time. So to answer your question, I'm going to go back now. What are the baby steps for a filmmaker? The baby steps are always staying in the craft, doing what you need to do what you have to do. You guys are already doing it, you know. You shooting on weekends, you shooting weddings, you shooting, and you can't dodge that phase. It's something we did as Artsec. We used to shoot weddings. You get what I'm saying? I used to shoot it with my wife. It was me, my wife, Tati's Pill. We used to shoot weddings. You get what I'm saying? We used to shoot corporates, whatever, promo videos, whatever have you, you know, to keep the lights on, to keep the ball rolling, and, you know. So we used to do these things, but on the side, we'd always be like, okay, this is the movie you're doing next. We started with 2 Ike, you know, and then the next short film we did was Golden, you know. And this is us honing and crafting and learning. And that's why there's no shortcut to this thing, you know, because without us doing 2 Ike, without us doing Golden, we don't learn the lessons that we need to learn, because it's a whole different school outside of film school.
That one is very true.
It's a different game. It's like, okay. And one of my lecturers said this now I'm going back, and I had the privilege to work with him last year or recent. He after film school, he said, on our last day, he said, now take everything that we've just taught you and throw it away.
Who was this?
It wasn't Chaveni. He said,
throw
it away.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's so true, because it's different. Real life from film school, it's way different. And we learned lessons and learning how to move with the industry. And, this is how this is done. And, you know, and I've learned like 2 different things. Well, not 2 different things, but like the way TUT or Pretorian style of filmmaking compared to Joburg style filmmaking.
It's so different.
2 different things.
It's so different.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We more practical. Like we like doing things like you'll be a director, writer, what, and still handle lights and whatever you can do to fit in and help. You get indie. You go. They're more specialized. If you just grips. You just grips.
Yeah.
Don't help us out. Don't touch this. It's they got taught like formally because they were next to those institutions. You get what I'm saying? They were next to your SABCs. They were next to your. So whoever's been teaching them that way of filmmaking, that side is how, you know. So us here, we never had those things. So we had
to learn to do all
on our own and do it from A to Z. You get what I'm saying?
Dude, I relate with that so proud. The Pretoria guys are the guys who just
it's true.
I relate with that so much, because it's as someone who not to throw my story. I had a similar story to you guys, but I couldn't get into TUT. By that time the money was finished. So now it was like, if I want to do this, I have to figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Exactly.
And it's maybe it's a little bit of that South African attitude. That grit. That's all South Africans have, that grit. I'm gonna get it done anyway.
I'm gonna push.
I was working with tools. It was just like 3 of us, 4 of us. And we've got all these crazy heavy lights. I remember my Gear music video shoot was so crazy because we were literally carrying generators into the woods. We've got these lights. I'll show you the behind this. It was crazy, man. It's just 5 people doing a whole production and just doing the best we can. And it feels normal to us. It feels like normal. Something that this is how it's supposed to be. And then just 2 weeks ago, I was on a film set and we were doing a commercial but we were filming the behind the scenes. But they were filming, the production is a Joburg production. They're filming a production for Capitec. And everyone is just so specialized. You can see, this is, we learn these things in film school, but we don't really apply them. We know that the DOP works with the camera operator or the first AC. Only they touch the camera. But we don't, it's great.
Can I help?
Do you need me to help you with this lens? No. Don't touch that.
Don't touch that.
Don't.
No, I had to learn that, like, also very quick to be like, oh no, it's not everybody's party here, you know. Actually, and then also protecting yourself
Yeah.
in terms of don't touch people's equipment. Next thing this person is gonna say blah blah blah, you know. But coming from where we came from, it was help out where you can, you know. The recent film I just shot, without saying a lot, is I gave my DOP was somebody I was in class with. So this gent, I understand how he operates, but we gave him a crew that's like from Joburg or whatever. So they were getting touched when he'd be touching lights or whatever the case may be.
I need to tweak this.
Yeah, and they weren't gelling. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't gelling that well with like his crew because they're feeling like, nah, he doesn't want us here or whatever the case may be. And I understood because I'm like, nah, I come from where he comes from. He still needs to learn maybe how this side of whatever, but I understand where he comes from, you know, because that's what we did. It's like, hey, Joe, pick up that sandbag. It's not that I'm just here.
Let's just,
you know, let's push.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically, but you can't cheat the shortcut. You need to just keep your head down, keep pursuing what you need to do. Get the lights on. If you need to get the lights on, do what you need to do. There ain't no shame in that. There's no shame in shooting weddings. There's no shame in whatever you need to do. But then always remember what the goal is. You know, that goal that you remember you were watching Baby Driver, you wanted to do Baby Driver, always remember. You get what I'm saying? Because other people get lost in the sauce. You know, again, the gentleman Chaveni used to complain to us at the time saying, I've created no filmmakers. They're like, all these filmmakers, they get swallowed up by the monster. You know, and what he was referring to was that all these young filmmakers that he's taught, they'd always just end up working, just being, you know, inside like television or whatever and not making films. But again, people's stories aren't the same. Some people need that paycheck. Some people, you know. So I understand I can't knock it, but always remember the goal. Here's the goal. Awesome. Yeah, you guys were an interesting class, eh? You guys, I saw like leaders in your class, like that front row. I keep seeing, I see Yola, Dipuo.
Yeah.
I saw her too.
She's working in the industry as well.
Yeah, she's pushing.
She's
yeah,
pushing.
Come on, Khaliso.
Khaliso.
So that front row was, and then you were the class rep over there.
Yeah.
And then who else am I seeing there? I'm also seeing what's his name? He was an actor.
Mbulelo. He's also still pushing. We're talking about, we're working on some stuff.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. No, great class. You guys were very engaged.
It's crazy that these are the circle or the people that I'm still in contact with, and we're still working on things together.
That's good. And that's what happens. Also, one thing, there's like two key things in film school, but I'll tell you about this one thing. The one thing is that look at the person next to you. Those are going to be the people that are going to help you. And I think I told you guys.
Yes, you said this.
I said this.
You said this.
It's very serious. Because those are the people that are going to get you jobs. Those are the people that are going to, you know, help you keep pushing and elevating your career. Those are the people, like even when I was pushing Face Deep, the calls I was getting, the leads I've been getting, like it's film school mates.
Yeah.
They're like, hey bro, like one of my film school mates, shout out, I love Tito, dog. Like you deserve all the praise I can give you. Like Tito hollered at me and she'd be checking up on me all the time. Like, hey, here's SAFM. Go talk about your movie. Here's whatever. Go talk about this. You know, and she'd be like, don't worry, I'm trying to get you this. I'm trying to get you Metro and all of these things. And she's like, keep pushing. Yeah. You know, and these are people I went to film school with.
And they believe in you.
I was with Tito, Naledi, and Mamello on my first film set at film school. I was the first year, they were second years, and they called me onto their set. And they were like, yo, come handle Cam B. You get what I'm saying? So, and these are people still in the industry today. I just haven't seen Mamello that much, but you see, like it's that circle.
It's the networks.
Yeah.
In the 2 episodes back, we spoke to Rabi, MP, and he said one of the biggest takeaways from film school is the networks.
Oh yeah, I saw that episode.
It's the networks.
yeah.
The networks are very
previous guy.
important. Yeah.
I like
He
that.
does previews now. He's like working on Hollywood productions.
Yeah,
a lot of those.
that's dope, man. Hopefully one day I'll have a previs on my movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll get to those levels where we're like, let's see the movie before we shoot the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a film that's coming out
Yeah, bro.
that you guys worked on at
Yeah.
Sake.
Uh-huh.
What is this film? It's The Bad Bishop.
Yes.
You just give me an idea of what the
So we were in association with the Time Bomb production. So my role over there was I was head producer. What's it about or what's happening?
What's it about? Just give
Okay.
me, sell it to me. Maybe
So-
go watch it.
The Bad Bishop is a story that's based on real events. Not based on anybody, but based on real events. Where we are tackling the topic of these miracle hustlers, fake pastors. And we're just following the story of Kaya, who's this kid who's gifted, like naturally just gifted in speaking and in commanding the church. And then he just gets corrupted along the way by certain people and sees that he can use his gifts for the other side to make money, and they try to build this empire. So it's basically a rags to riches story, a building of an empire. I would say Wolf of Wall Street, but in churches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, but in churches, because they end up doing like some despicable things, and they just met with opulence and crazy things. And oh man, The Bad Bishop, man, it's a dark comedy tale that just tells the story of Kaya Kumete from rags to riches and the fall of an empire. Yeah.
Okay, that is very interesting. Because when I saw the trailer,
Yeah.
I was intrigued immediately.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer on social media and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to watch this.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Because it's a high concept that's very relatable.
It's very relatable.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, so many times we've had these stories where we've had these miracles.
Yeah. And it was big at the time when we shot it. It was still very prominent where these pastors were making people eat grass. You know, they
Drink
just wake up.
savannah.
It was like, hey, let me put doom inside you. It can heal you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so those things, the writer and the director, they did extensive research. Like we watched gang footage of like churches and all of these things and how they do these things and figured out how do they work these miracles and stuff like that. And we just brought it to the forefront and talked to a couple of people and stuff like that. So it's not based off a singular person, but a combination of these strange events that have been happening. And particularly they happen in Africa. So this is more, it's even less a South African story, more continental story, that this is what's happening in Africa.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why we're also taking it out there in Africa. We've just landed Zambia. We're trying to land Angola and Congo. But Zambia, The Bad Bishop will be there, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you produced the film.
Yeah.
So what did that look like? What is a producer and what did you do in that film?
Oh, it's a headache. Yeah, this was the biggest film I've ever had the pleasure of producing. When I hopped in April, if I'm not mistaken. And they said, look, this is the project we're trying to do. And somehow, somewhere, they got hold of my name, getting to work in the industry. And they said, can you help us with this whole thing? And then the director, who was also the EP, said, okay, but I don't want to shoot it here. I want to shoot it in Venda, you know. So it was a big budget. I won't say numbers, but it was the biggest budget I've ever worked on the movie. Also in partnership with the DTI. But basically what I'm there to do, I'm there to champion the movie from beginning to end and make sure that the creative process, that we have all the right people to meet what my director's vision was. So I'm there facilitating every single thing. Every single thing. I remember coming back from Venda, I had like PTSD in a way.
Yeah.
Because I never had normal days. Like, as a producer, I was the first one up, last one to sleep. We had extras running all the way to 300, sometimes 500, right? And it's a new place, new location. There's no agencies, there's no extras agencies over there. So I have to send out a fleet of like shuttles to make sure these people are picked up and make sure these people are dropped off safely. Thank God nobody died on my set. Thank God no incidents happened. People were dropped off safely. I'd wake up 4 a.m. My locations manager would come. We'd have a little brief at 4 a.m. He'd be like, hey, I need money for 1, 2, 3. This location, we're shooting over there or whatever. Can you give me this permission slip, whatever. This is just like, I'm just giving you a typical day. So he's calling me 4 a.m. He's like, hey, I'm about to leave because he needs to be at set at what time? At 5 a.m., right? Before call time is 6 a.m. for those guys. So unit manager, locations manager, they're there at 5 a.m. making sure catering has lights, what, all these things. So I'm up 4 a.m., give my locations manager Katu a little brief. Then I'm now handling my office. My office wakes up. Tati starts up the printing machine. We are printing sides and all of these things that they need, right? Then a call sheet have been printed the day before. We are now also handling files of whatever's happening. So my morning is already kicked off and rolling. My typical day, after making sure everything is running smooth, everybody lifts off, petrol is poured, whatever the case may be, I'm then now on phone calls. We have an A-list actors. My crew was 70 people, 65, between 65 to 70, right? Depending on the time. So I'm making sure people are accommodated. In and out actors now, an actor like Dunsani, he's predominantly in the movie, but he's not going to be there because he's in high demand. He needs to go up and down on vendor. So I'm on the phone talking to other actors, other agents. I was on the phone, I kid you not, I remember this one time I was on the phone. I was like, it can't be normal the way I'm on the phone. Because I'd be on the phone and 3 other phone calls
pending
would be like ringing. Like it would be one person and then it would be another person and it would be another person while I'm talking to this person. This other night, I started counting how many phone calls I was on. Not even that I took, I was on. It was 70 calls. 70 times. So when I came back, I remember this one ringtone. It used to like send shivers down my spine. I was like, it was that bad. Because this one time, Katu woke me up at 4 a.m. as usual. And then he was like, look, we lost location. Can you please come talk to this person? We can't find him, no. So I left. Now I left my phone. This was a weekend where my wife was coming in. She was also in the movie. So she's an actress, blah, blah, blah. So she was sleeping with me. So I left my phone in my room with my wife. And when I came back from sorting out that mess, I came back 30 minutes or an hour later. She was like, here's your phone. I don't want it near me. Because it rang nonstop. She couldn't even sleep. She was like, just keep this thing. just keep this thing. You know, it just kept ringing. So, yeah, that was basically a typical day. It's me fixing, hey, we didn't eat. Catering is messing up. I need to get a new catering company. Yeah, it's your last warning. Whatever, about to fire you, or whatever the case may be. If catering is not messing up, transport, this just broke down. My technical producer, hey, we need brake pad died, whatever. We need camera department needs mist, it's running out, whatever. So we picking this up. Like, you need to keep it going. The machine needs to keep going.
How do you keep track of all of this? And I'm imagining you're handling so much money, but you do have a budget.
Yeah.
But how do you keep track to say, okay, I'm not going to overspend? Because now there's just so much happening. You can't even breathe or check that, okay.
So, production is in film, like pre-production, research, development, is the nice part. Post-production is the nice part. There's a point, the production is called the point of no return. The point of no return is called the point of no return because it's the point of no return. When you start burning that money, you are burning it. You're burning it. So how do you keep track? You keep track as best as you can. There's no other way I can tell you that this is the method. This is, you do the best that you can at that time that you can. You get what I'm saying? But you are observing and you're making sure you stay on the pulse. Like, I remember I did at some point, halfway through production, I gave my executives and the directors of the company, I said, look, we can't maintain this. We can't. We need to either go back home or we need a cash inject. You get what I'm saying? At home, I gave the advantages. This could be the advantages of going back home. We could finish the movie and we'd have change. If we stay here, this is what we face and all of these things, So without giving too much away, you can see you need to see. You need to be like, I'm in trouble, I remember the first time, because we had a fleet of like, just panel vans, I think 6 to 7. And then outside of panel vans, there's the transport for crew. I had like 3 combis for crew. And then, but I'm talking about like these big H1s and 21 seaters and whatever have you. And I remember just swiping that fleet of cars first week. The amount of money shocked me. It shocked me to my core. I was like, I can't believe we spent this much on petrol. Just that first day, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is a lot. It's a lot. But great time at the end of the day. The movie's here. It took a while, but it's here and we're doing it. So I championed the film, man. I kept the ball rolling. And I was also creatively producing here and there, making sure, hey, let's go this way, let's turn and make sure we tell this side of the story. But more than anything, I was just producing and relying on my partner Joe to make sure that he gets what he wants and me and him are in good sync. And there were certain times I had to fight with him as well to be like, no, bro, it's not possible. He'd be like, hey, I remember at first, the first few days, I was giving him how many extras? Like 30 or so. And I was like, no, it's not possible. We need more. And then, I had to give him more. That's a fight that he won. And then this other time he wanted like this other thing, a meerkat or what. And I was like, bro, like, that's it.
Happening.
We can't. It's not happening. You need to measure. Like, is this worth that or whatever? Like, no. I've given you enough toys or whatever the case may be. This will be just wasting money at this point. You get what I'm saying? So a nice balance. You need to balance this whole thing, but it was a lot. I come from a war. It was a war creating this movie and creating it in unknown parts, unknown regions, and all of these things. But we're here.
What would you have done different? Not with that film, but with your journey as your journey up to this point, becoming a filmmaker and producing films.
Maybe if you asked me what I would have done different for the film, I could have answers. But what could I have done different for my journey as a filmmaker thus far? That becomes very philosophical. I don't think I would have done much different here. Me personally, on my journey, I've learned a lot of lessons. You know, it hasn't been a smooth journey.
Yes.
You know, I know contrary maybe to what other people might see or perceive, it might seem like, oh, things just come easy for this guy or whatever the case may be. But it's been a very tough journey. You know, to be where we are, it's hard work and very much earned. And a lot of bridges that were also burned intentionally, and also others maybe regretfully. But what I would have done different is, if I had done things different, then I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I've learned today.
Oh, true.
You know, and those lessons are very important, because now I know, don't go there, avoid this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Maybe angle yourself here or whatever. I think I lived my life the best way I could have, especially in my career. And as Frank Sinatra says, man, regrets I have a few, but too few to mention. So it's good, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, so not much in terms of, but in terms of the movie, yes, there's a lot I would have done different. We all would have done a lot. I would have forced my crew, my team, to go home when I said we must go home. I would have stayed firm on that. This film would have been out sooner, because we were faced with a lot of financial challenges, you know, because of the lack of heeding to what I was seeing. You get what I'm saying? So had maybe that's one of my biggest ones. Other ones is trusting people I wasn't supposed to trust. There were other people, my EP and director, he was like, you need to fire this person. She's not for you. I would have fired her. I should have fired her. Maybe that's also a regret.
Yeah.
You know, trusted a bit less. You know, I really see too much good in people, and that sometimes to my apparel, to my detriment rather. And yeah, like I would have really, yeah, there's those things where I'm like, this bomb, it hurt. This one, it hurt also, you know.
And
I should have done this.
avoided.
Yeah, but again, much more wiser. Now we're doing the other movie, the secret movie, and I've avoided those things. It's been a smoother production, and yeah, I'm good.
So I guess it's safe to say, like, these things should happen so that you know not to allow them to happen next time.
Yeah. So like one thing, Joe, again, he said this when we were about to finish, when we were back. And he said, Vuyani, you know, because we were very regretful coming back and stuff like that. And he was like, how old are you? And at that time, I was like, I don't know, 28 or something, or 29. Forget, 28. And
making a film.
Yeah. I was 28 or so. Yeah. Because I was chasing something. I was chasing Steven Spielberg and Tarantino.
Yeah.
In my head, I always had this, at 27, you must make your first feature, you know? So I was like, first feature 27. And I did this other movie, and I shot it, everything. Everybody knows about it in Pretoria. It's sure, it's an industry known thing. It was big, it's that one over there, but whatever. And it just didn't work out, and it bummed me out. And then the Bad Bishop was like, just getting quiet because finances, right? So he said, look, man, you 28, barely even 30. right? He was like, you're barely even 30. You have 30 more years to go before you even retire. He was like, you're going to do this till you're like 60. So take it easy on yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're still young in this industry, you know? You still have 30 years. And that put a lot into perspective. When he said those words, I was like, oh yeah, I still have 30 years of making movies. This isn't the end. At that time, you're thinking, oh my God, this is the end. I will never get another chance. I will, you know, and it just put things into, it eased my soul to be like, you know what? You're not even 30 yet at the time. So yeah, you can do this, you know. Getting perspective. And Edgar Wright, ironically, I was watching him the other day. He released Top 10 on BBC, advice for filmmakers. And he said something that touched me because I was chasing at 27. He was like, you cannot be Citizen Kane. You cannot be Austin Wells doing Citizen Kane. You know, your first feature isn't going to be, and don't chase, because he was chasing this other guy who made a first feature at 18, you know? And he was like, don't chase that thing, you know? Do your movie when you're ready, when time allows you to be ready. You get what I'm saying? So this chasing, he rushed doing his first feature, and he says he wasn't happy with his first feature, you know? So for me, and I listened to him, and I was like, oh yeah, kind of was rushing. I was like, 27, that's it. I need to break like Steven Spielberg and Quentin Tarantino, who made Pulp Fiction at, what was it? Reservoir Dogs, sorry.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, at 27.
My favorite films.
You get what
ever.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Made Reservoir Dogs at 27, and Steven Spielberg came up with Jaws at 27. That's insane.
I just watched Jaws last night.
Yeah,
Again.
that's crazy. At 27, taking out such a masterpiece. But that's not your destiny.
That's not your journey.
Yeah, it's not your journey. Your journey will come, but that doesn't mean be lazy on your journey.
Keep working.
But if you're gonna set this linear timeline that I must do it like he did it at 20 whatever, or you know, it's not gonna work. Other people might look at me and be like, hey, I want to have 2 features in cinema at like Vuyani.
It is inspiring though.
but you know, it's inspiring, but also look at it was hard.
10 years.
You get what I'm saying? 10 years of grinding and all of those things. And this movie
More
that's
than 10
coming
years,
out,
actually.
people don't know. They can see Face Deep coming out, and then, Bad Bishop is coming out.
So
but they don't know. Yeah, they're like, back to back. But they don't know that Bad Bishop was done 2 or 3 years, or 3 years later, before. Yeah, 2021. That's crazy. You get what I'm saying? And I'm only releasing it now. I shot Face Deep, right? Late last year, and got to finish it and release it before the one I did in 2021. That is insane. The money for Face Deep went and disappeared and finished and did its job before this money cleared and all of those other things. You get what I'm saying? So it's dope. I mean, you know, back to back cinema and history and all those things, you know, it's dope. I like it. I got to do something in cinema history, being South Africa's first, whatever, to do a back-to-back cinema run. But it came with a lot of lessons, bottom line. It came with a lot of lessons, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of whatever have you, and it wasn't easy. Yeah. So the qualities of a producer, straight into camera, is the following. You need to understand that you are in service of the film and not in service of yourself or anyone else. So what does this mean? This means you're going to have to champion this movie from the beginning to the end. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to have the minerals to make sure this film, you need to have it in your head that I'm going to get paid last, right? My money or whatever the case may be might not come now. You know, I'm going to see people getting paid and they're going to be okay and I'm not going to be okay. and that's okay. You get what I'm saying? I was there signing checks, seeing people getting paid even more than me and all of these things. And you need to be in service of the film. You need to be resilient. You need to be smart. You need to be, you need to have discernment, right? So I'm saying you have to be street smart. I'm saying you also have to be spiritually aware. You need to have that gut feeling to say, this person, Kahiso, this person might not have the experience, but they have the heart. And I'm going to hire that person based off that thing. You need to see the people that these people are going to be great for my production. And not just take people because, I heard this person is, you need to have that discernment. It's so many layers. But at the end of the day, the core thing, you need to be in service of the film. Like, I need you to understand that, to say, guys, I need to make this film. I've seen so many producers come and fall short of this, to thinking for themselves first before they think for the film. And that's mainly sometimes even the difference between a producer and just somebody who's working, who's just a production manager. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A producer saw and heard and said, hey, this is big, and saw for what it is, and said, I want people to see this. And that's why you get rewarded at the end. You get what I'm saying? That's why you having a stake in the film or whatever, and you invested in it. You get what I'm saying? So have what it takes. I always laugh. I always tell my wife to say, if I ever were to go back to film school, I would really, really have a class, whether it's 2 weeks or a week. And that class would be called What It Takes, right? I really believe and feel like they are missing that element now in film school. Like courses need to get revised and revamped or whatever. But you need a course that's the way it just teaches you what it takes. What does it take? You need to go hungry. Are you gonna go hungry? Are you willing for this? Like, are you willing to freaking not get paid, take whatever rumors are out there and absorb them, and people just tarnishing your name? Are you willing to, like, there's so much it takes to, it takes a lot to even make a movie cross the line. There are going to be certain people that are not going to be happy with you making that movie cross the line. It's reality. Not everybody's going to be your friend. As an employer, some people are just going to hate you. And it's okay. Some people, like, it's not everybody's going to be like, oh, I like Vuyani. You get what I'm saying? Not everybody likes me. And I know my truth. I can sleep at night. It's fine. They see you as an employer. They see you as, this guy is not doing what I want. You get what I'm saying? He's supposed to do 1, 2, 3, but they're not seeing what Kahiso is facing, all these other issues that you are facing, or you have to block, you get what I'm saying? Right now, we be struggling where media is just, for instance, maybe wanting to push one famous actor. You get what I'm saying? And they're not seeing the fights that we having behind stage. That, hey, we saying, hey, no, push this other actor or whatever. And they just want to push their own agendas or whatever. But at the end of the day, they'll look at us like, no, but you guys did that.
Yeah.
And you have to absorb that hit and be like, I did my best. You won't know the truth because you don't know the politics behind. There's certain things at the end of the day, these curtains, it's foul at the back. And I can't go out there and explain myself to everybody.
Can't do that.
Exactly.
As long as you can sleep at night,
I can sleep
you're
at
championing
exactly
the production, you're championing the film.
Exactly.
I remember, like, just to add, I know how heavy the crown is because I directed a film. Yo, you will fight with people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll feel like you wanna get physical, but you can't. You have to be professional. I put my heart and my soul in this film. Me and Duncan, we wrote it. We directed it together.
Yeah.
We had this idea for a year.
Yeah.
And this was supposed to be our end-year film. Everything in us was this film.
Yeah.
From taking the rest of our evenings after classes
Yeah.
just to create the floor plans, the
Yeah.
storyboards. Everything was made in a way that, like, we already saw the film. It was done.
It was there.
But on the day of shooting, things did not go the way we planned. And we tried to accommodate people's ideas. We tried to work with people. Yeah, we ended up being hated by everybody.
Straight up.
Yeah, we ended up being hated by our friends. But we're trying to champion the movie.
Yeah.
And they're not just as passionate for it as we
As
are.
you guys are.
And that just makes us mad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But to move on to the second question is,
Yeah.
what can somebody that is in Mamelodi, somebody that is watching Skim Sam, somebody that is watching all these productions, that would like to be a part of the film industry, that watches all these things on TV, and they don't have somebody, maybe a parent in the industry or a friend or anybody, they don't know how to start or how to get into that. What advice or what insight would you have for them?
I loved when you said they don't even have a camera, right?
Yeah.
So I like that example because I was the kid in Mums. I'm from Mamelodi,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
First, for me, it's always how you learn about filmmaking is by observing first. You know, you have to observe. So they need to be keen in observing and keen. What I do with my film students, the first thing I ever do, or first week, I always make them watch a movie or something, and then I make them read the credits, right? And then my assignment would be, go home, go watch whatever you watched, right? And come back and tell me who wrote that thing, who directed it. And then that's your introduction into filmmaking. Now you're in the industry because you know, oh, man, Generations was created by who? Dumandlo or whatever. You get what I'm saying? And it was written by Smang Mang. Oh, man, Mojaji was written by Editaba first episode. Oh, shout out to him.
Yeah.
He wrote, the Editaba wrote Jaji first episode. So anyway, somebody I went to school with. So now you're in the industry by observation, just by mere observation. And what's nice now about this industry, about the time that you guys are in, is that you're in the era of social media. So these people that you're seeing, you can Google. You can say, oh man, I like the show. Who produced it? Let me Google this person's name. Let me add this person. Can I follow them? Automatically, by just doing that, automatically, you are now in the industry. I don't care what anybody says. If you now, why am I saying that? Because you're an insider. You know something that other people, your average Joe doesn't do that. You get what I'm saying? Now you know, man, Killers of the Flower Moon.
The editor was
Thelma Schoolmaker edited Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Oh, who's the Thelma Schoolmaker? She was the editor. She's been editing for Scorsese for over 30 years. Oh, okay. Let me read about this lady. No. You know, those little things, now you're becoming an armchair film critic and film, let me not even say critic, film viewer, you know? Observation. It starts right there. Number 2, from observing, now you got to do whatever the hell you got to do to get in. If it means you got to hound these people, you got to hound these people. If it means you got to go serve tea on sets or whatever the case may be, you just always have to be relentless. And let me tell you about being relentless. There's going to be a lot of no's. Like just a fat no. Just no. Like, other people are going to be cutesy about it. Maybe like me, I'm cute with my no or whatever the case may be. But as filmmakers, we face no's every day. Like a big filmmaker friend of mine likes to say, she likes to say, we eat no's every day, bro. Like we eat it for breakfast. She's a big filmmaker in South Africa. She's still getting rejected. You know, if I told you her resume, you'd be like, what? You know, but they pitch, Mnet, whatever, you get no's. And that's part of the business. no. Who's getting the biggest no right now is freaking one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, dude. He's getting a no. So who am I? You know, Francis Ford Coppola is getting a big no with Megalopolis.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? It just premiered in Cannes, but nobody wants to distribute it. He spent 120 million. But if I get into Coppola, like we're gonna take 30 minutes to just discuss about this because I love him that much. You get what I'm saying? So it's tough. This industry it's tough. It's tougher than tough. If you're gonna go into this, but eventually, what I'm trying to say is that in your relentlessness, somebody's gonna say yes. All right. Whether all you just need to do is put a toe in. Do you know that toe? Like as the door is about to close, and then just that toe.
Yeah.
Just all you need is a toe, bro. That toe lets you in, and when you are in, you're talking to this person that's talking to this. Many a times I've seen like for instance, the other feature I shot, the first one I shot. There was I think maybe he was in your class, or was he in Soliana's class? Bibo.
I know people.
That was his first film, I think, at the time, a feature film, right? Buruan, big cinematographers liked him and whatnot.
Yeah.
Been getting jobs since. All he needed was a toe. He was learning on the job on that job. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to show you is that I'll give you another example. On this last feature film I just did, there's a lady who was cast coordinator, right? And she was so good. I was like, I'm asking, because my wife produced that one. I co-produced, but she was head producer. And I was like, where did you get her? Because she worked with her she was her cast coordinator and she was on a soapy. She's like, no, I saw her. She's very good from the soapy. No. Her story is that she was literally a cleaning lady or a tea lady.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? She was a tea lady at this production company, and she was there, and she just got fascinated by what these guys were doing. And she'd ask, like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? Can you guys teach me? Can I? Now she's one of the best cast coordinators in South Africa. She's handling big celebrities, bro. Wow. She is 100% clued up. If I told you that she was a cleaning, you wouldn't even believe me. You get what I'm saying? And that's because she put in the hours and the work, So, yeah, toe in. Somebody somewhere out there will give you a chance. And also, guys, I don't know where maybe a shift happened. There was a shift. Me, personally, how I got far in my career, now I'm giving you the inside scoop, is that, there's certain jobs I would have even done for free. If they said, just do this for free at that time.
Yeah.
There's certain jobs you must understand that it's a privilege to even be here. You get what I'm saying? To see what's happening. Because that's what we do is really like everything is a privilege. Like literally it's a privilege.
We get to do this.
One day Kahiso will say, I'm busy with a passion project. No. Some film students or whoever's viewing you on YouTube or whatever, they might say, hey, yo, can I come? Can I learn? No. And that's the opportunity for them to say, I am learning. Take that. Don't shift your mind to saying, I need to get paid, bro. So pay me. Pay me cash dollar. I'm on a film set. No, bro. No. Like, put in the hours. You get what I'm saying? The 10,000 hour rule. You will eventually, and the money will come. Like, eventually the money will come, okay? But on certain things, take that out. And it's not a loss, it's a lesson. Because what Kahiso is actually doing for you is better than just having had been at home. You'll get to say, oh man, oh no. How they shot the scene was with 2 cameras. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did they light that? Oh, okay. How did they, you get what I'm saying? Those little things. For me, my simulated workplace integration, I did it with Dirk Moster Productions. I wasn't getting paid a cent, neither do I want a cent. But through him, I got to see, oh man, this is how these guys do it. Oh, this is how they run a production company. Oh, his house is next door, and then this next door is It's a production company. Oh, so a production company can be at a home. Oh, okay. All right. So I started my production company at the back of my mother's house. You go, because I saw what they were doing. I was like, oh no, man, it doesn't need to be formal and I'm learning. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you get editors. Oh, you get them that. Oh, okay. You know, and that's free. It's free and it's invaluable what that person is doing for you. So guys, don't be afraid to work for free. I don't know where this changed or, you know, like that mentality, get it out of your head, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
It's a privilege to be invited where like typically you wouldn't have been. And these things, they sow seeds for the future. You know, eventually the money will come. Eventually you'll be worth the salt that you are given, and it will come. It will come. But certain places, like again, I mean, I was producing The Bad Bishop. I was seeing people getting paid more than me, and I was head producer. And I was fine with it because I understood. I was like, okay, this is, who else is going to give me X amount of millions to produce this film?
Exactly.
Who else?
I get to do this.
You get what I'm saying? Who else is going to give me X amount to produce millions and have this experience? Now I'm very experienced.
Yeah.
I got to take another production to Venda last year, again, with Nchaveni. Now I'm experienced. I know how to move around a crew over there. I know what it takes. Again, another successful shoot. I produced that as well.
Sorry, just to ask, isn't Nchaveni going to have a new film?
No, it wasn't a film.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a film.
All right.
No, it wasn't a film. It was something else. It was a pilot for something else. But we shot it over there as well. Hasn't come out yet. But anyway, it wasn't a film. But nonetheless, the experience that I gained from Bad Bishop helped me do that, and I'm worth my salt now.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can get paid, and my experience is there, etc., etc. So it doesn't work without you. Going back to the beginning, you can't shortcut it.
You can't.
I want to shortcut the chance. Especially in this industry. Maybe somewhere, maybe in the influencer vibe, social media content creation. Maybe. Even in there, I don't think so.
Yeah,
even in there, I don't think so. But here, at filmmaking, at ground level, no.
Start at the bottom and you go up. Because I remember I shot so many music videos for free. And I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
When the first person paid me for a music video, I was like, wait, what? You pay me money?
Yeah.
I used that money to make that music video better.
Oh shit.
And then more people wanted to pay me, and that's how I started getting paid for music videos.
And then that's when it started rolling. You see?
I've never paid myself for a music video.
You see?
To this day. I've never. I just did a music video with 2 years ago. We didn't get paid for that music video. Yeah. My final question is, what does the juice mean to you?
The juice.
The juice.
Like, who got the juice?
Who got the juice?
Hey man, the juice to me means somebody who's on it. You get what I'm saying? Who's hip to it? I mean, like, it's as KRS-One said, hip hop means intelligent movement. You're hip, that means you're in the know, and then you hop, that means you move. You know. So who has the juice is somebody who's on it, and somebody who's just moving. Or whatever they're doing it, and they're doing it at black excellence at the highest level. So, you know, at the highest level, you got the juice, and something about you, you have the Midas touch at that moment, you know? So you got the juice, bro. If you got the juice, you got the juice.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say it on camera. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for allowing us into your space.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for having this conversation with us. Hopefully this can inspire somebody, can give insight to someone out there.
For sure.
And I also want to commend you and thank you for sparking that interest in me to edit.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I'm glad I touched people as a lecturer, as an editing lecturer. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad, Kahiso, and you guys pushing is amazing to see. It's amazing to see. Don't forget Bad Bishop, 19th July.
Yeah.
19th July. It's coming out. One of, I feel like, South Africa's biggest films to come out. Epic dark comedy. Let's go out.
Yeah, guys, go watch it. Go see it. Be there or be told. Now we are going to be there.
Away.
All right. Where can people find you on social media? And
that's Vuyani Bila, spelled with a Vuyani space or underscore Bila everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I never used to take LinkedIn serious, but now I do. It turns out it's a real thing.
Yeah, I'm spending all my cash on my and my friends. Take a picture on Instagram and step on that medieval dance. Stupid rich since way back, I know today.